Welcome to this video, which is on Sunday 9th of July. What we're going to be doing is looking at some high probability trade setups. We're looking at the charts in a moment. And when we're looking at the charts, we're going to be keeping in mind our favourite indicator in terms of getting clues to where the technicals are going to take us, the COT, or the Commitment of Traders report. Now, if you don't know what it is, it's an extremely valuable tool. We don't trade without looking at it. You can get more information on it on the link beneath this video. But in brief terms here, what we like to do is always trade with the smart money commercials when they move against non-commercial speculators. Now, in terms of currency that is extremely overbought in our view, it's the New Zealand dollar. And the COT report this week shows heavy commercial selling going on. And the Kiwi isn't just overbought on the USD, it's also overbought on numerous currencies. We're going to look at 4 today. We're going to look at NZD USD, NZD CAD, GBP NZD, and also NZD JPY. Now, just before we go and look at the charts, I'm just going to go very quickly. I take a minute or so, look at the divergences in terms of commercials and non-commercials on the COT report. So just take a look at this, and then we'll be back to do the charts. Just very quickly on the COT data, I just want to look at the divergences very quickly, which we can keep in mind when we do the charts, and just make a couple of points on the COT generally. Now, in terms of the most overbought pair in the majors against the USD, it's the NZD, 8.9 to 1. In terms of a divergence, generally the divergence hasn't been that big in the majors recently. I just think that's just due to we've had relatively low volatility in the majors. And for me, I said it in a few previous videos, the better opportunities at the moment just generally are in the crosses. Now, in terms of AUD CAD, I looked at that a few weeks ago in a video, and the divergence was above 10 then. Okay, still above 10. And this one's had a really nice break to the downside. There's plenty more downside potential to come. The CAD is just extremely bullish, longer term, over the AUD and the NZD. Now, I'm going to feature the NZD today because you can just follow my view on the AUD CAD in the member centre. But it's a big divergence. Plenty more downside. Now, just before we go to the New Zealand pairs or Kiwi pairs, AUD JPY. That's a good divergence this week at 12.5. However, I just favour the Kiwi. I think the Kiwi's got more potential on the JPY. Obviously, AUD and Kiwi both correlated. Now, moving to GBP NZD. I was saying in the video we did the other week, or last week, that we thought that the commercials would be buying into the pound and the non-commercials would be selling. And that's happened. We've moved back above 10 as divergence to 11.7. Anything above 10, I always think it is worth looking at. So 11.7 here. And this pair, we are, well, I'm sure regular viewers are bored of me saying it. I'm just extremely bullish of it. Right. NZD CAD. This one here. Obviously, we've got a really nice divergence here as well at 12.9 to 1. Okay. Now, this one's broken down, but I'm just going to give you some potential entries. So just be plenty of opportunities to get into this. I'm going to explain in a minute why the CAD is so bullish over the New Zealand dollar and Aussie dollar. But yeah, this is a trend that could run for months, plenty of potential. NZD JPY, last one we're going to be looking at today. Biggest divergence on the COT this week at 14.9 to 1. So it's the biggest. I think the Kiwi is due a break. Now let's go and look at the charts and start with NZD USD. On the NZD USD daily, just before I draw my levels, just want to draw attention to the ADX. And for those of you who don't or not familiar with the ADX, it's a very good indicator for indicating a trend change. Now all we're looking for, we're only using a single ADX line, must rise above 40. Doesn't matter how far above 40 it goes. As soon as it turns down, it will warn of a change in the prevailing trend. Now, I haven't taken this all the way back on the left, but this is a really strong move up. And the ADX tends to work when you get a little bit of choppy price action like this at the top. The ADX candle is that one there. Okay. So it warns of the turn down. You've already had exhaustion on that candle. Nice move to the downside from the 73 to the 69 level, so 400 pips. I'm looking for a bigger move this time around. Got another ADX turn down here. That occurred on this red candle. Sorry, this one here, which I'm highlighting. So these three tails for us now are resistance. Okay, now we're already short of this one. Got to stop back at 73.80. Now she's come down a little bit, but it's not much, about 90 odd pips, I suppose. She's a sell back up to here, in our view, but losing a little bit of momentum, and now we're sitting on the 20-day. Now, if the 20-day snaps, then basically we think it's going to be kind of lights out for the Kiwi. Now, yeah, when you've got all this or heavy commercial selling and all the specs, a lot of them are going to be long, at very high levels in terms of this trend here. So what we think will happen is, basically we've got some support at 72.50. Okay, so got this tail here as well, that tail, that tail, that tail, two bodies over there. So 72.50, just below the 20-day, which is 72.62. You want to let that get cleared out. Let's say like something like 72.35. Now, a lot of people might see support here. We've got some support over here. That, in my view, won't hold with the COT divergence as big as it is. I think personally, I'm going to go and target major support down at 70.50. There we go. See, that's come up, tested, and obviously the breakout. I then think after that we're going down to 68.50. So plenty of downside potential. Once we've clearly broken down the stop, our stop will come down. Basically, we'd have that as resistance, and obviously 5 candles there as well. So the stop, we bring ours in behind the 73 level, 73.40, then see if she runs to the downside. Pretty hopeful of this one. It's lost a bit of momentum. We'll see what happens, but whatever does, I think it's a decent risk-reward trade. So let's look at the next pair, which is going to be GBP NZD. GBP NZD daily. Just for new viewers, just want to show you how effective the ADX can be again. See this turn down here? Nice strong uptrend which accelerates, and you get sideways consolidation. ADX turn downs, normally are good ones, comes here, then a nice move to the downside. Now you're coming down from 188 to 174. That's a big move, and this is really major support here at 174, and that's the level that we were looking at. We did the first video on this pair. We want to get long the GBP. Major support for us, and we're obviously bullish at the GBP. Now, what we did was we knew the ADX was going to turn down. On a move, well, we anticipated it. We were perhaps a little bit lucky at 175.40. Up she comes, nice strong blue candle. Then up through the 20. Now we've got that little bit of sideways action. So what we've done, 50% of our trade is in. And we've moved the stop up behind the 20-day moving average on the other 50%. And we want to get back in or increase our exposure. So where we're going to do it, going to come through here. So basically we want to come through the 178 level. I'm not too worried about the two tails above. I want to get above 178.40. I think that'll be a good level to come in at. If that occurs, then basically you're going to have support on the 20, that sloping line, and also the cross of these two big blue bodies. Okay, so the stop obviously tucked well back behind 176. Now where are we going to go to? Well, we've got tight volatility. That normally points to a big move, so if we break out we should get a really good move to the upside. I have indicated in previous videos 182 as resistance, but I actually think, no surprises for the regular viewers, going back to 188. We've got a lot of commercial buying coming in, and specs are coming in to sell. So yeah, on a breakout, yeah, I think that breakout will just follow through to the upside, and we've got a good profit potential to risk if we do break up. Now, if we do slice out the 20-day moving average and head towards 174, I'll update the view in another video. But that is my view of GBP NZD. Let's move to the next chart. New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar daily chart. Just before I look at some levels, just want to draw your attention to the bullish CAD fundamentals in my view. These are big fundamentals that are going to stay in place for a considerable period of time, in my view, and drive the NZD down on the CAD. And let's take a look at them. Central Bank, okay, Bank of Canada on the verge of raising rates. RBNZ are on hold. I think they'll be cutting rates. You've got central bank divergence. Commodity exports, basically Canada's exports are going to hold up better in price than New Zealand's in the coming months. Major trading partner of Canada is the US. Obviously, major trading partner of New Zealand for exports is China. And the US economy is in far better shape than China's. China's slowing up quickly now, and the exports that go from New Zealand mostly go to China. Basically Canada's got the better exposure. Also, if you get a move from risk, Canadian dollar is going to hold up better than the New Zealand dollar, and we expect that to come. Now, in terms of this pair, what we saw, just very briefly, is obviously a fall down, try and find support at the 20-day moving average. Let's see, we just try and hold on to it. It's this candle here that exhausts, comes through, okay, takes out the 20 decisively, and then we're off to the downside. Now, we're already in this one, but there's far more downside to come, in my view. And I just think that, just keep those big bullish CAD fundamentals in mind. I've also, sorry, on the left, I've also noted, I haven't put the weekly chart up, just go and look for yourself, but the obvious levels of support are 87, then 84. I think we're going to 84, and at the moment we're not far away from 94. So, yeah, plenty of downside potential. Now, do think we're going to have a rally. This is a nice big red candle. We're a bit oversold on the stochastic. RSI near oversold. Just feel we're going to bounce. Where are we going to bounce to? If we get above 94, obviously 94.50, I have to see this one pans out, but I don't see it closing above 94.80. So 95 level is going to provide good resistance in my view. So I would just basically wait to sell her on the bounce, okay, and then put the stop back behind the 20-day moving average. Okay, so it's also behind that tail. So let's say about 95.80. Now, for us, this is basically now going to develop into a nice downtrend. Plenty of downside potential. Now, one thing that I often do, if I just can't see a decent entry, I just want to be in, I'll just drop half a trade in, so 50%, and add 50% later on, just to get some exposure. Just feel, commercials obviously heavily bearish as well. Big fundamentals bearish. This trend looks like it's just starting. Just plenty of downside potential. So we'll see how this one pans out, but any bounce in our view, selling opportunity. Let's go to the last chart now, which is going to be NZD and JPY. The NZD JPY daily. I just got the ADX on here again, actually. Just see here, we get a turn down, and that's on this blue candle here, and obviously prevailing trend strongly down. Then look at that for a move to the upside. So the ADX turned down there, warned of a move to the upside. Over here we've got an ADX which is just up and touching 45, and I think we are going to see a downturn this week. Now, in terms of the chart action, okay, where is resistance? Well, I would really say, where would you put it? I would put it through those two bodies there, really, which lines up with the round number 83. Okay, so we're right at resistance. Now, obviously, we could run onto the top of this body and almost the top of the other tail at 83.50. 83.50. Okay, so if I can draw my line, there we go. So which is the way to play this one? First, if we push up through 83 towards 83.50, I would just sell it back through the round number, so through 82.80. I think you want to use a stop of about 84.40. You do that right back behind the next round number. Okay, come through here, you're selling back through here, back behind 84. You've got plenty of downside in this pair, in my view. If it just falls back, then I would be tempted to come in through the down sloping trend line. I'll probably give it just to go through those two bodies there. So around 82.30. Now, in terms of support, okay, you could say there was support here, that cluster, and those four candles there, also the 20-day moving average, okay. I just feel with the positions so extreme that, you know, nearby support shouldn't hold. There's a lot of specs long, and they could get run on stop. So, yeah, this is the most extreme position on the CFTCs this week. And I just feel this trend is overextended. We're going to go back to major support. And I think major support is here. So you can see 79 level, obviously test are there, and then you've got numerous candles testing, then the break holding and holding them, the push up. So 79 would be my first target. But I don't see it just going to 79. If we get into motion on the downside, I think we could easily run down towards a 76 level. I'm extremely bearish of the Kiwi. We'll see how this one pans out. Obviously, we've got to see if it gets down to here first of all. But I just feel, yeah, another pop higher is a sell. Or if we come through those two candle bodies next week. So we will see what happens. And that's my review of the four charts.